All right, so finishing up this problem, well, there's still a lot of it left, but we're going to keep working on this problem that we started yesterday. So we're talking about the baseball wins versus home attendance. So we got through part B yesterday. So do the residuals show any pattern worth remarking on?
When you say like remarking on, do you mean like commenting on?
Yeah. Worth like noting, I guess.
So actual, it's probably yes because you have to answer the question somehow. So definitely yes. Not sure what else comes after that.
So teams with.
Oh wait, this is like increases and decreases. So as the wins increase, the attendance increases.
Well, sort of, but this wants to know more so like if it's following the pattern or not. So like is the number of wins and the attendance, like is it increasing as it, like is the attendance increasing as the wins increase?
Okay.
Because it should be along the line, if so. So teams with the greatest number of wins deviate from the pattern. The most. Because like these that have like 100 wins have a lot less attendance than. You're gonna do great. You did a great job earlier.
First, right?
No, I'm not going first. Then hold on after. I mean after your jobs.
Yeah, they were practicing last class.
It's my first presentation ever.
Really?
You've never presented before?
I mean, I did group presentations, but I never taught. And I still need an A.
It's hard to talk for like a whole 7 minutes.
Yeah, like.
It's a lot longer.
I don't know. They both did a pretty solid job in here earlier.
I can't even pay attention for 7 minutes. my attention is so small.
What is happening? I don't understand why this is crooked. Nope.
Yeah, lucky I haven't fell asleep in class yet.
There we go. If so, we'll just have Hope do something really funny to make you wake up.
Well, I'll start clapping and then you'll be
Because they used to like scream my name if I was asleep. They used to scream, the whole class would scream my name. And I hate that.
All right. The point in the upper right corner of the plots is the New York Yankees. What can you say about the residual for the Yankees? We kind of did that at the top already, but the residual was the actual minus the predicted. And so it actually was 52,500. It was predicted to be 37,500. And that would be like, I gave it to you up here, but in theory, this point really should have been up higher. It really should have been a little bit farther up, but close enough. So we did what it actually was minus what it was predicted to be. So for the number of wins, it should have been here, ballpark in the middle of that. So the line is pretty accurate. It's just where the dot was a little off. So that's why I just gave it to you. So I'm just going to make a note. This should be a little higher.
Honestly, just expect to go first. No offense to Elijah or anything.
So this is a residual of 15,000. So what does that mean about the model? Was the prediction too low or too high?
Too high. Why, it's too low. Sorry, my numbers got mixed up.
Prediction was too low. What is the correlation between wins and average attendance?
Is that like
So you were given R squared.
oh,
We're looking for R.
48.5%, so that is
Yeah, so we'll do the square root of, make sure you change it to a decimal, not a percent.
6. Oh wait.
So 0.485.
Gosh, 0.696.
And then just something to note here, always consider direction. Is R positive or negative? Check the slope of the linear regression line. So the line that we drew in the left graph, that's where we're determining if it's positive or negative. Because obviously the square root itself is not going to tell you positive or negative. And the value of R squared is not going to tell you positive or negative initially because anything squared is going to be positive. So
Are we doing a pink out on Thursday? Or Georgia's not going to be done with
I don't think they're going to be done, and I can tell you something after this is done as to also, yeah. I'm probably just going to have to do it for senior night. It's just going to do pink for senior night, I'm guessing.
You can always do red on Thursday.
That's what I was thinking. Then we could do a red out for, because then that way both teams could do it for Atlantic Shores too. So. All right, so these questions still go. I thought we were just doing. What would you predict about the average attendance for a team that is 2 standard deviations above the mean? So, in wins, I should say. 2 standard deviations above in wins. So, it would be 2 times R. Would be how we get that. I think that was a formula that we had in the notes somewhere, but it would be 2 times the number that we just found, so 2 times 0.696. So 1.393 standard deviations above in average attendance. And make sure you put the sign of R with it if it was negative. I mean, this one's obviously positive, so you don't need to write it, but... If a team is 1 standard deviation below average in attendance, what would you predict about the number of games the team has won?
It'd be way lower.
Yeah, so we would do 1 time, well, technically negative 1 times R, which would be negative 1 times the 0.696, which is just going to make that negative. So what that tells us is that it would be 0.696 standard deviations below average in the number of wins. So the negative tells us it's below average, positive would tell us it's above. So write the equation for the regression line. So the stuff that you were given on the right-hand side, that little table, are the numbers that we're using. So the constant is your y-intercept, the wins is your slope. So the equation would be home attendance, because that's what's changing, and the little hat on it, is equal to the constant of negative 14,364.5 plus the winds, which is the slope, 538.915 times winds. So then the next one, estimate the average attendance for a team with 50 wins. We're just going to plug in 50 for the wins column. So I'm just going to write attendance with the hat on it just to save some writing, but is equal to, and just plug it in. People in average attendance. Now, I will say sometimes people will tell you like, oh, you can't have a quarter of a person, so you would need to round up. Some would just say follow normal rounding rules and round down. I'm okay if you just leave it. Interpret the meaning of the slope of the regression line in this context. So this is what you were kind of trying to say earlier, I think.
Yeah, so like as the winds increase, usually the attendance will increase. Not often.
Yes, so for each additional win, because that's the number that's changing, there's about 539 additional fans in attendance on average. In general, what would a negative residual mean in this context?
That the predicted is too high.
Okay, yeah, the predicted is greater than the actual. So specifically in this context, if a team has a negative residual, the model is an overestimate of their average attendance so fewer in attendance than expected. The St. Louis Cardinals, the 2006 world champions, are not included in these data because they are an NL team. During the 2006 regular season, the Cardinals won 83 games and averaged 42,588 fans at their home games. Calculate the residual for this team and explain what it means. So, this is their actual, the number that was given to you. So we would need to find out what their predicted was for how many fans would have been expected to have been in attendance. So we are going to go ahead, even though they're an NL team, and obviously we were using for the AL team, we're going to use that same formula, yeah. So attendance hat is equal to negative 14,364.5 plus 538.915 times the number of wins, which was 83. And this value is going to be our predicted value.
30,365.45.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I attempted to print it this morning and it wouldn't come out, so.
Wasn't cooperating.
Yeah, neither printer was cooperating for me this morning, so thank you.
Okay.
So then, what is the residual then?
Hold on. I did it wrong.
And you can just, if you want to just round to a whole number of fans for the residual, you can, so you don't have a decimal.
12,223.
So is this an overestimate or an underestimate?
Under.
This is an underestimate for the Cardinals. About 12,223 more people came than expected.